Looking at some of the luxury modern cruise ships available today, it's difficult to think that the idea of traveling on a ship for pleasure was unheard of until the early 20th century. Before the invention of the jet plane, the only method to cross the Atlantic was by boat, and as immigration expanded, this was often a one-way trip for many. Eventually, cruising developed into a high-end activity where wealthy individuals would interact, engage in luxury cuisine, drink, and visit fascinating places. Soon, cruising would become more than just an elite way to travel and would evolve into a fantastic holiday option for all families. However, how did all of this come on, and what was the condition of the cruise industry before the 20th century? Before moving on, there is a small reminder. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any newly uploaded videos. And hang on till the end of this video, you can get to know some unbelievable facts. Let's investigate. In today's video, let's speak about the evolution of luxury cruises. 1800s, paving the way for transatlantic cruising. Certain companies started providing pleasure cruises in the 19th century. P&O Cruises claims that co-founder Arthur Anderson invented the idea of the cruise holiday when he placed a dummy ad to fill space in his newspaper, the Shetland Times, advertising an imaginary cruise of the Scottish Isles. This occurred in 1835, and soon after, businesses started providing public cruises on board ships that were essentially constructed for mail delivery. The real start of cruising, as we know, was marked in 1881, when P&O decided to transform their liner Ceylon into what is thought to be the first cruise ship and embarked on a round-the-world cruise from Liverpool. Early 1900s, luxury cruising is introduced. With the introduction of larger and more opulent ships in the early 20th century, cruise lines like Cunard and White Star rose to prominence. As cruise lines added new facilities, such as the first swimming pool, a la carte restaurants, and lifts between decks, trips that had previously only been used for business were now promoted as being for pleasure. These days, ships were still very much divided on a class system. First-class passengers enjoyed luxurious cabins that were quite different from the facilities and living conditions of steerage, the least expensive class. Back then, passengers in steerage were even expected to bring their own food and were certainly cruising from A to B rather than for pleasure. A word about posh. Some people argue that cruising in these olden days even gave us the word posh. Wealthier passengers would request cabins that were shaded more in the afternoon on lengthy journeys, especially those between the UK and India, so they would be colder by bedtime, which would be the port side going out and the starboard side coming back, or port out, starboard home, which was stamped on the ticket. Though it's a fascinating tale, nobody has been able to discover any convincing evidence that these tickets were ever issued. Cruising in 1900-1950. The Hamburg America line launched the first cruise ship specifically designed for pleasure in 1900. With only first-class cabins available, it was an extremely exclusive affair. After that, rival companies P&O, Cunard, and White Star Line started providing more pleasure cruises to a wider range of destinations. The terrible Titanic accident happened in 1912, 4 days after the White Star Line ship sailed from Southampton. Barely more than 700 people were rescued by Cunard's Carpathia. The cruise industry has seen major disruption in the past 50 years due to World Wars I and II, claiming a number of cruise ships in service. Fred Olsen alone lost 23 ships in World War I and 28 in World War II. Shipping companies were able to grow in between these terrible conflicts. In particular, what is now Costa Cruises thrived in manufacturing and shipping olive oil to America. Additionally, Cunard launched the first ever world cruise in 1922 with their ship Laconia. In 1948, Costa introduced passenger cruising as well, with a 16-day journey from Genoa to Buenos Aires and Rio de Janeiro. Cruising in 1950-2000. What many refer to as the golden age of cruising began in the 1950s. Cruises developed into vibrant social gatherings with games, alcohol, dancing, and even glamorous guests. In 1950, Cunard held an all-American star cruise, with special guests Noel Coward, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Elizabeth Taylor, Walt Disney, and Rita Hayworth on board to entertain. Also, P&O started transporting immigrants to Australia at this time. which was a new destination. Many people in the UK chose to search for a new life on another continent after World War II because of the major changes that happened in their way of life. Between 1947 and 1972, over 1 million people paid a fare of £10 for passage to Australia, earning them the nickname £10 Palms. And the majority of these traveled with P&O. Many more of the modern cruise lines were established over this 50-year period. Love Boat, a television series based on a Princess Cruises ship, continued from 1977 to 1990 and is credited with significantly affecting the popularity and success of cruising. However, the cruise industry grew quickly between 1964 and 1972, adding companies like Princess Cruises, Norwegian Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean, and Carnival Cruises. And while cruising was no longer just for the rich, it had definitely become all about pleasure. While there are still several types of lodging options ranging from luxurious loft suites to cozy inside cabins, gone are the days when the ships were segregated and you definitely don't have to bring your own food. Cruising 2000 now. Consider a city, put it on the water now. That's the feel of modern cruise ships. These massive ships, frequently transporting thousands of passengers, constructions are equipped with an extensive range of amenities. These ships contain everything from huge retail arcades to cutting-edge gyms and calm spas to energetic nightclubs. Activities are diverse. You could be rock climbing in the morning, attending a wine tasting session in the afternoon, and watching a Broadway-style show by evening. Such is the range of experiences on offer. Modern cruise lines claim to have mastered the art of luxury for everyone while serving worldwide customers. Between 2022 and 2028, the river cruise segment itself is all set to witness the fastest growth rate by registering a CAGR of 13.3%. However, because of their interesting packages, amenities, and entertainment options, ocean cruises dominate the market in terms of revenue share. The cruise industry is here to remain as long as it can continue to provide travelers with exceptional travel experiences. Finally, cruises represent the evolution of travel, leisure, and human aspirations, much more than just luxury on their fascinating journey through time. From humble beginnings as transportation vessels, today's megaships symbolize mankind's unwavering pursuit of unparalleled experiences. They serve as evidence of our capacity for creativity, adaptation, and boundary redefining. We're at an exciting juncture where the future of cruising will not just be shaped by opulence and entertainment, but also by our commitment to the planet. The next era of cruising is on the way, providing experiences that are as unforgettable and responsible as they are, with a blend of luxury and environmental awareness. We are headed to the end of this video. Thank you for being to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about this video below in the comments section. Let's meet again with an interesting video.